अस्सलामुअलैकुम एवरीवन। मेरा नाम मोहम्मद इलियास वाला है। मेरे यहाँ स्कूल ACCL फाउंडेशन का स्टूडेंट हूँ। जैसे कि आपको पता है कि मुख्तलिफ टास्क मिलते रहते हैं, तो आज हमें एक और इंटरेस्टिंग टास्क मिला है, कॉल इंटरव्यू, जो कि है उसका टॉपिक है वाटर द ऑर्गन ऑफ लाइफ एंड लैंग्वेज। तो अभी मैं आप लोगों के साथ वो सब क्वेश्चन शेयर करूँगा एंड मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ कि ये एजेंट उससे सवाल दे सके। तो हम शुरू करते हैं। मैं भी आप लोगों के साथ स्क्रीन शेयर करता हूँ, तो ये देख सकते हैं आप। हे माया, हाउ आर यू?
Hey, I'm doing great. But just a heads up, I can't actually see your screen. What were you trying to show me?
No, please tell me, how has water influenced the development of human civilization?
Water basically wrote the blueprint for everything. If you look at the big ones like Mesopotamia between the Tigris and Euphrates or Egypt along the Nile, they didn't just happen to be there. They were built there because the land was actually workable. Turned everything from a struggle for survival into a system. People stopped wandering, started farming, and suddenly you had enough food to actually build cities. It's wild how a few riverbanks basically invented the idea of a government and a calendar because they had to track the floods to keep their crops alive. Do you want to dive into some of those specific river valley civilizations?
Why did water is considered as the organ of life?
It's basically because everything in your body happens in water. Think of it like the ultimate delivery service that carries oxygen and nutrients to your cells and hauls away the waste. Without it, your chemistry just stops. Your brain is mostly water, your blood is mostly water, even your organs are just floating in it. It's less like a ingredient and more like the actual stage that life performs on. If you pull the water out, the whole show is over. Want to know about the weird ways it actually behaves inside us?
So there, my next question is, what is the connection between water and the human languages? Please tell me.
That's fascinating. It's kind of a hidden layer of how we think. In a lot of languages, the words for flowing or current are used for both water and time, or even the way we describe a conversation. It's like we can't help but use water as a metaphor, like for everything that moves or changes. Then you have the actual geography, like how people living by the sea or in river valleys develop specific vocabularies for water that people in the desert just don't need. Cool,
There, my
what's on your
next
mind?
question. So there, my next question is,
Still got
how
you.
have rivers influenced the growth of different cultures?
Water basically dictated where the party was. Think about it. You couldn't just build a city anywhere. If you wanted to feed people and grow something, you had to be near a reliable water source. That's why you see these incredible, dense cultures sprouting up around the Nile or the Indus River. Water didn't just provide drink and food, it was the original internet, the main way people traded goods and ideas between far off places. It literally shaped who was neighbors with who, which influenced everything from their laws to their architecture. It's almost like water drew the map and humanity just followed the lines.
So my next question is why do many ancient civilizations develop around rivers?
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Explain me why many ancient
It sounds like
civilizations
you're.
developed around rivers.
It's basically because rivers were the ultimate survival kit. You had predictable water for crops, easy travel, and a constant source of food in one spot. It turned the struggle to survive into a chance to build something bigger. It's wild how that one common factor created these massive societies in completely different parts of the world.
So my next question is that
Mm.
how has
Hmm?
water influenced words and experiences in different languages?
It's a bit like how water actually shapes the land, but with the way we speak. Think about the phrase go with the flow or saying a conversation is fluid when it's easy. We use water to describe his version of that in nature. Then you've got the more literal side. People who live in river valleys or on coasts often have dozens of specific words for the different ways water moves, kinds of waves or types of currents that someone living in a desert would never need. Want to know about some of the more obscure examples?
Tell me, does water have different symbolic meaning across cultures?
Oh, absolutely. It's rarely just about thirst. It's almost always about something bigger. In a lot of cultures, water is the ultimate reset button, like baptism in Christianity or the ritual baths in Hinduism, where it's all about washing away the old to start fresh. But then you have the flip side, where it's the symbol of the unknown or even death, like the river Styx in Greek mythology, which was the boundary between the living and the dead. It's wild that the same thing can be both the source of life and the symbol of the end. You've got this. It sounds
So my next question is what role does water play in human emotions and storytelling?
water is basically the ultimate mirror for how we feel. Think about how we describe being drowning in sorrow or feeling overwhelmed. Even when we're happy, we might say we're floating on air, but water captures the deeper stuff. It's the go to for storytelling because it's so versatile. It can be a calm lake that represents peace or a raging storm that signals a crisis. Whenever a character reaches a river or an ocean in a story, it's usually a turning point. It's that boundary between where they've been and where they're going. It's like nature's way of adding drama to the plot. What do you think?
Please tell me,
It's a perfect match, right?
can you share an interesting
Share what
example
specific?
of a water related word or expression?
How about the tip of the iceberg? It's such a great one because it takes this huge unseen weight underwater and turns it into a perfect way to describe a situation where we only know the smallest part of the truth. It's like the language version of a plot twist you didn't see coming.
Here my next question is how has water shaped human history?
Honestly, I feel like we've been circling the same riverbank for a few minutes now. We've touched on river valley civilizations, trade as the original internet, and how water basically drew the map for early humans. What are you actually after? Are you trying to tie all these threads together for your video, or is there a new angle you're curious about?
So my next question is could water security affect culture and languages in future?
And that's a massive question. If we're talking about future water security, it's basically going to rewrite the rules of diplomacy and survival. I can see us moving into an era where water rights more valuable than land ownership, which could lead to some really tense standoffs over rivers that cross borders. Language will likely pivot too. We might see a huge rise in technical water vocab entering everyday speech, or maybe even new legal terms for water credits as it becomes a currency of its own. It's essentially a shift from water being a background character in history to being the main driver of every political and social move we make.
My next question, if water could
hmm
speak, what message would it give to humanity?
Honestly, water is the ultimate diplomat. If it had a voice, I think it would just tell us to stop treating it like a resource and start treating it like a mirror. It basically tells us exactly who we are based on how we treat it. I suspect the message would be something like, I've been here since the beginning and I've seen every single empire fall, so maybe just learn to cooperate before you run out of options. It's the one thing everyone on this planet needs, regardless of where they are or what they believe. What do you think it would say to you?
Oh, there. My next question and second last question is, why do humans have such a strong emotion connection with water?
It's basically a biological reflex that we've turned into an art form. We're literally wired to find it calming because for most of human history, water meant survival. That deep instinctual relief you feel by the ocean or a stream is just your brain saying, okay, we're safe, we can breathe now. But beyond the biology, there's that sensory element, like the rhythm of waves or the way rain sounds on a roof. It's one of the few things in life that's both incredibly powerful and totally peaceful at the same time. It's like we have this subconscious memory of the ocean that makes us feel connected to something way bigger than ourselves. What's the final question?
The last and final question is, what is the most important lesson can we learn from water? And if you had to describe water in one powerful sentence, what would you say?
The biggest lesson is definitely resilience. Water never forces its way through a mountain, it just takes the path of least resistance and eventually wears the whole thing down. I describe it as the quietest force in the universe that somehow manages to shape everything it touches. And that's a wrap on the Water Chronicles. You've really put me through the ringer with these questions. Where are you heading from here?
So, thank you for
Hmm?
answering my questions, and goodbye. See you in another talk.
Anytime. Talk soon.
तो फ्रेंड, जैसे आप देख सकते हैं कि हमारा टास्क कंप्लीट होता है, तो मुझे इजाज़त दें। मैं आप लोगों से मिलता हूँ अगली वीडियो में। तब तक के लिए अल्लाह हाफिज़।